You're back!
I'm Mandy.
I'm Dan.
Subscribe to
BuzzChomp.
Woo!
Your Counterpart reaction. Episode 5 of Counterpart left us totally hanging off a cliff in terms of who can we trust outside of our Howard Silk. But one question is overarching. Who is the Shadow? I'm calling this person the Shadow because I think it sounds cooler than Shadow. However, this is an operative on our side and the higher ranks of the third floor, but I think there's a fourth floor and maybe there's even a fifth floor. So they're higher up, but they're not the high. Could be a man, could be a woman. It literally could be anyone except our Howard Silk. Counterpart is just pulling at you. You trust somebody, you don't trust somebody. You trust somebody, you don't trust somebody. The only person I feel like I can truly trust is our Howard Silk. I'm literally questioning every other person on the show right now because anyone could be the Shadow. The first person I'm looking at who may or may not be Shadow is our Emily. Up until recently, we thought she was the greatest person ever. They stayed together, married. She got attacked and put into this coma. We don't know who put her in the coma. Perhaps she's Shadow, and perhaps they tried to silence her because she was flipping and she was working both sides. We already know Alexander Pope is working both sides on the other side. He's helping other Howard, he's helping other Emily, but he's also trying to have them killed. He's also helping the operatives get across illegally to carry out their executive orders and mass murders and the school infiltration plan, which I will touch on a little bit later, but I have no information other than what we saw in the episode. Why should we assume that no one else is also working both sides? I'm not quite sure we should trust other Howard, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because we have to trust our Howard. If our Howard's the bad guy, it really would leave me with a head scratcher, and I'm not sure how they rationalize that right now. But our Emily can easily be evil. She was feeding other Howard information. We assumed it was good information. It could have been bad information. The mole on our side was feeding information to the other side. That's exactly what our Emily was doing. And she was taken out for it. Or so we are to assume. See, the problem here is all of these assumptions. I don't trust our Emily because, bombshell, she was cheating on our Howard. The fact that she was cheating on him for about a year and stashing private information at this man's house leads you to believe she probably was doing it beforehand as well and stashing private information at other people's homes because she didn't want to keep it at her own house. She didn't want to put Howard at risk, and she didn't want it in the most likely place someone would look for it. She had a lot of money. Why would you need that kind of money unless you were going to run or go over to the other side or be traveling back and forth or give it to somebody that was coming over as an illegal operative? You don't need that kind of money on hand, especially in a secret storage in your, lover's house. An obvious suspect is Ulrich. Now, granted, we were told 5 years ago. His network runs much deeper. I don't know how long he's actually been working there, but he seems to know everybody. He has all these secrets that one after the other. Oh yeah. And Peter's just along for the ride, trying to keep up. Who's the boss of who here? We think Peter's in charge, but Ulrich is definitely in charge. And if it's one of his men, then he hired those people. So the likelihood of him also being a mole goes way up, even if he's not the one that's the Shadow. The school. This is the mass conspiracy, which is just going to be part of our reality now, that the other side has a school of children that they're training to infiltrate our side. Try to go over illegally, assume identities, and execute a big plan that the other side wants to take our side down or punish us or maybe give us the flu epidemic. I don't know, some sort of repercussion, revenge plot. I actually think it's a little bit more layered than that. This is just the surface level we've been given. So the school has operatives that have infiltrated our side. Well, these people started as kids, grew up, and then infiltrated. If this is a 15-year-old program, then there are legitimately adults on our side that started on the other side and are operatives. I'm not convinced Baldwin was one of the people from the school because she was just an assassin that was hired. That other woman, her liaison, former liaison, who's now the liaison for the group of 3 that I will call them, that transported over and are starting new lives. We really don't know what the hell they're doing. I have a feeling she was at the school and she's one of the first. She may be the first because she's special. She's not Shadow, but she has to be talking to Shadow. The head of the embassy is not Shadow, but he has to be talking with the Shadow. I wouldn't be surprised if Shadow is a member of the school, which may or may not have been run by Alexander Pope. I'm going to stop there because it's going to get too confusing, and I'm confusing myself. Who can we trust? I actually think we can trust Alexander Pope. He may be helping both sides, but I do believe that he doesn't want to see either side collapse because that's his entire life, getting people back and forth. And if that falls, then everything falls. If our side falls, then everything falls. He doesn't want to see the destruction of either side, and I don't believe he's in on the revenge plot. I do think that he's very gray. That's what we keep being reminded on this show, that everyone is both good and bad. Nobody is just one or the other. The exception would appear to be Howard Silk, because our Howard is very good. The other Howard is bad, except we know that they're both kind of the same person. Is he really bad? Is ours really good? They're in the middle too, but they're meeting in the middle. They're like 2 halves of a yin and yang. If everyone is good and bad, the Shadow. I believe that Shadow has no other or killed their other. We only know definitively of one other person that has no other, and that's Anna, Howard Silk's daughter, who survived on the other side, died in childbirth or miscarriage on our side. She has no other. Anyone without another is like a super, like, what would you call it? A queen in chess, because they can go by other side, and there's no conflict, there's no nothing. Now, Anna seems very inconspicuous, yet I wouldn't be surprised if she was recruited for the school. Perhaps she escaped the school. Perhaps all of this is going to come out, and maybe she is next up as an operative in line to join these new wave of refugee, whatever, infiltrators. She's going to meet the Shadow. If the Shadow has no other, did they kill their other, or was there just no other to begin with? This is a very, very interesting question. I want Peter to be the Shadow, but he can't be the Shadow. He's just playing too naive. I want to meet Peter's other. If it's not Emily, I'm not sure we've actually met the Shadow yet. We maybe just saw them in passing in the hallway. Or maybe it was like a blip in and out and like someone just had a meeting. Like perhaps the person that other Emily met with on her side as the boss of herself actually works on our side as well and is the operative Shadow. We don't know. There's way too many freaking possibilities. It's very, very cool. A random question here. What's Howard Silk's endgame on the other side with seemingly trying to bring his family back together? Now, I realize he doesn't really have much to do over there, and so he's getting to know other Emily because his is in a coma. He's getting to know his daughter because he never had her. This is full-on meddling. Other Howard was disassociated with them. They did not get along. Like, what does he think's going to happen? That other Howard is just all of a sudden going to be happy-go-lucky and happy that he reunited his family for him? I mean, other Emily knows the truth. Anna's figuring it out pretty quickly. This is going to end badly. I don't think he should be working with other Emily, especially not to reunite their family. We're going to meet the Shadow really soon. Pope's going to be a liaison. Anna's going to be involved. And our Emily's going to get out of that coma because she's too bad of a person to remain in the shadows any longer. Subscribe to BuzzChomp's YouTube channel so you don't miss a minute of my videos on Counterpart. This show is getting intense. And comment below, who do you think the Shadow is? Are you enjoying Counterpart? It's freaking badass, right? Woo! Your Counterpart reaction.
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Share.
Woo!